Good night, sir.
Good night, good night. Sorry. I'm trying to inform others that I am online so that, if I don't announce, they may be thinking that I'm not there. Are you with me now, Dania?
Yes,
Hello?
sir.
Okay. All right. We are going to start. At least one is a number. I think the number will grow as we start. What do you think? I'm not hearing you. Yes, I'm hearing you better now. Yes.
Yes, I'm gonna send the message in the group.
Well, I did as well. That's why, yeah. So I'm saying that we can start since the class will be recorded. So they will hear what transpired.
Okay.
Because the truth is that the Zoom class gave opportunity for anyone to follow up by watching and listening to what transpired, unlike a typical classroom where information is written on the board and once it is wiped off, nobody will have access to it. So we don't need to worry. So let's set the ball rolling. Picking up from where we stopped on Monday, we were looking at these three variables: age, height, and time. We were trying to study them in terms of what these variables, what we could deduce from them regarding somebody just doing what we call descriptive statistics. In descriptive statistics, we want to use graphical illustrations. We want to compute some measures for people to understand. For example, we say what is the average age, the median, the mode, the range. Now, we have all these in a written format. What about if we choose to have all of these graphical in a graph? So the best graph to illustrate variables that are ratio means variables that are precise, that are measured precisely, will be box and whisker box. So if we go here in Excel and identify more, okay, somebody's trying to join. All right, you can admit for me? Okay. All right, let me repeat my process. I think we could go to this side. Okay, so Dania, you'll be the one to admit them for me. Okay, is that okay?
Yes, sir, that's okay.
All right, so let me reopen my file. Are you seeing my computer now? So I highlighted age. Do you see the highlight of age as a variable? Can you tell me whether you see what I highlighted on the screen?
Yes, sir, we're seeing age.
Okay, so I would like to illustrate the average for age, the median, the mode, the range, and the minimum age and the maximum age. I could proceed to look for a box and a whisker. So I could find it over here, over this side. Yes, over this side. This is it. This is box and whisker. So if I click on it, it will give me an opportunity to see what the spread of that information. All right, let's have it wide. Let's bring it down. All right, let's make it without any painting at the middle. Let's right click to add the values. All right, look at the values that you see when it comes to when it comes to age. This is the variable age. Remember the median, which is 13. Look at it over here at the middle. Now the youngest person is 11. The oldest person is what? 15. The 12 and the 14 represent the 12 represent first quartile in terms of the age. That is the 25% percentile. That's 12 in terms of age. The 75 percentile represent 14-year-old. So graphically, we could re-illustrate some of the information using a whisker and box plot. The whisker and box plot, ideally, they are suited. I repeat, they are suited. Somebody's talking. They are suited to illustrate ratio when we have responses that are based on ratio in terms of precision. We could disaggregate the age by gender to say, okay, the information we have here is for everybody. What about a scenario whereby we say, okay, we are going to illustrate the spread of the female students in terms of their age spread and the male students. If we repeat this procedure, remember now, say we have this already. So let's say we have it isolated. What we are doing now is to continue the procedure using Excel to do some illustration or what we call descriptive statistics, where we want to describe our data. Want to do a description, just want to describe it. So there are measures of description, like measures of central tendency, using graphs. So that's what we have been doing from Monday up to now. Now we could separate this to say, okay, here we are. We have male and we have female. So we could actually repeat this whisker and box plot to show the spread of the male in terms of their age, the spread of the female in terms of their age. We could just have it just all highlighted and then repeat the insert and go back again, select to see two boxes. Look at the boxes now. Daniel, are you seeing my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes.
All right. All right. Let me add the data values. So what can you see with what we are seeing here now? What can we speak about? Let's look at it. If you want me to make the values big for you to be able to see, let's see. Okay, admit. All right, let's talk about it now. Let's look about it some more and be able to, like somebody trying to make some explanation about what they are saying. All right, great. Now, if you look at it, the age range is from 11 to 15. for both male and female, but some numbers differs. For example, the middle stem, that middle stem is the median. I repeat, the middle stem is the median. The median age for the male is 12.5 years of age, while the median age for the female is 13 years of age. The lower quartile is 12 for the female. The upper quartile is 14 for the female. And you can see what happens when we're talking about male, 11.75 for the 25 percentile, which is a little bit lower than the female one. For the upper quartile, 75 percentile, 13.25 for the male compared to female, which is 14. You, as coaches or physical education expert or somebody in the field of sport, this type of graph will be used to display spread of information. We could also go back again and repeat the same thing for the height and for the time. I would say let's try it for the time, because for the time now, if you want to see time that the students are running by male or female, you could repeat the same thing. Let me have the gender somewhere here. So, all right, I highlight the gender variable and the time. I proceed to insert. Then I come here. Then I see whisker. Now, let me have the box to the right. Then let us see those who can interpret this for us. Let me get your opinion now. Let's make it a little bit easier to read. Is it clearer now? You want me to make it bigger or is okay? Make it bigger or is okay?
Can make it a little bit bigger, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. Somebody saying something? All right. Is it better now?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let us start the dialogue now. What can you say about the record here? The record here is actually time. Time which junior athletes are clocking when they run 100 meters by female and male. So what can you say based on what you are saying? Tell me what you have learned from me so far and what you have not, or ask me a question regarding this information.
So the median time for the male is 13.7.
That's
and
correct.
For the female is 14.1.
Okay. Which means what?
That the male is more. The female,
No.
sorry.
Which means the male are running faster than the female. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Because as somebody in the field of sport, if you don't put it in that way, people will not know whether you understand the difference between 13.7 and 14.1. Am I making sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. And then now the 13.0925 for male and 13.175 for female is actually an indication that 25% of those students, that's what they are running. While the 14.275 and the 14.25, 75% of them are running that particular time. On an average, they will run 13.7 for male while the female will run 14.1. However, there are times that they will run varies from 13 to 15 for both gender. So a graph can communicate everything that we were trying to see with the calculation that was done over here. This calculation is actually for everybody, but we could repeat the calculation for male and female, since we have them here. We could separate the record, from just here to say this is that is male. We could do the next one to say, okay, copy. And that will be and have the same information here. Copy and have it here. And say, okay, if we want to produce a table for male, a table for female, and the table that we are making reference will be something like this. We could produce that table, whereas this one is overall. This particular one that we want to have now will be for male and female. So ideally, if we want to communicate to readers and we want to be selective in terms of what we communicate to them, let's see. Okay. If we go to data analysis, I'm going to walk you through what you could present for the general public to read from this information, or you produce so much information, but you guide what your readers should read from you, because you, the researcher, you are in charge of what the people must learn from you. Remember, just like when you are teaching in your class, you are very selective what you're going to teach the student. You guide their learning process. So when you write an article, or when an article is written in any medium, say the newsprint or the newspaper, the person who produced that document is the one who guide what they want to feed to the public. So the same thing applies in this type of work. So I could put here now that of the time for the male student column, and I will say, okay, output range. Let me find an area to define where the output will be. Let the output be somewhere here. All right. So this is actually time for male. All right, okay. All right. Let's repeat for female. Data analysis, descriptive statistics. What do we want over here? We want the female now. Where do we want it? Can somebody admit Milton Gabby done for me, please? So we want the second one to be somewhere here. That is the female. Okay, time, that's female. All right. Now, pay attention. Remember now that we have done a graph, and this is the graph that we did. We call it box plot. We are going to label the graph properly. So let's say the title of this will be Junior junior athletes. Hundred meter, right? Is 100 meter? By gender. All right, we get that done. Now, if we want to get a table out to summarize, to make it easier, so we could say, okay, gender. So we need their various statistics. So we could say, okay, all right, there are so many ways to produce the information. We could actually have gender here for comparison. We could have male, we could have female. Then we want the mean. We want mean. The mean for female is this value. That of the male. All right. We want the median. So that of the male. That of the female. Okay. We could want the standard deviation. SD. Standard deviation for male. For female. Okay. So we'll have this. This is time that they are clocking. No, this is descriptive. Descriptive. So we could have, first of all, we could round off this to the nearest decimal. One second. Okay, let's go to 2 decimal. Okay, let's get this to 2 decimal as well. Okay, so I could have it as this. All right. So now tell me what you are seeing here. Are they close to what this graph is saying? Take a look. Tell me what you see now. The floor is open for discussion. Open your mic and speak, please. All right. Are you hearing me? Because I want to say something. Am I being heard?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So everything that I did before to be able to produce this table and this figure on the left is called data analysis. It's called data analysis. And what come out of it is a table and a figure. Now, how do I use this? If you open a Word document, you know, a Word document to put your information, then you could write about it for your readers to be able to say, you know, after the analysis, let's create a Word document just for this output that we have generated now, and then write few sentences about the table and the figure. Everything we are doing now is still under descriptive statistics. You know, we're trying to give a description for the 20 about students that we have there. In fact, I should have put the total sample in the table as well. I'm going to go back and put the sample in so that people can know how many students who participated. 1 second. Let me get the Word document up, because my role is to assist you to be able to collect your data, do the analysis, produce a graph, produce a table, be able to explain it, and be able to do inferential statistics. That's what my role is. So that when you are on your own now, you want to do quantitative research, you could use this knowledge. I think it's about 10 students, 10 male, 14 female. So ideally, I'm going to add something here. I'm going to say sample. That sample is N. We have 10 students here, and we have 14 over here. So I'm going to add that variable to the list. Then I will have it underlined. 1 second. So if I copy my table now to a Word document, pick up my graph. Sorry, 1 second. All right, let's make it big. Okay, now I have this now. I could say, okay, table 1, figure. So suggest a title for this table. There's no wrong answer. There's no right answer. Just give me a title that you think may be of use for this table. Remember, we created this record together, you know. And this is the time that the students were running.
Table showing time for the 100-meter boys and girls.
Thank you. Table showing time. But remember now, there's something in English language that is called tautology. So table and table may not be the best. Go ahead, junior what?
Junior athletes time.
Junior athlete time.
Yeah, just to add to what Dania said, she could add it to ensure that they know exactly the type of athlete. So we could use junior athletes in what she said a while ago.
Okay, no
Time
problem.
for the junior athletes, right?
Okay. The gentlemen online, you are silent. I don't know whether the ladies are intimidating you. Milton Gabidon, Oren Gardner, what about you?
So I am new, sir. I don't understand anything going on so far.
You are new.
Yes.
When you say new, you were not there Monday?
No, I wasn't there Monday.
Oh, I see. All right. Let me paraphrase what we were doing. On Monday, we created a pseudo record. involving gender as a variable of about 24 junior high school students. We created some records in terms of their age, their height, and the time they are likely to clock based on whether they are in first form, second form, and third form. So we're now trying to analyze that data, doing what we call descriptive statistics. We want to describe it based on a table. We want to be able to use figures, which you know it as graph or charts. So we say, okay, let us take one variable at one time. The variable we're talking about now is the time the student clock. So we do some sort of descriptive statistics where we find the average time that the male student can run, the female student can run, the median, the standard deviation. Let me type it out properly so that those who may not know what it means, although we are going to explain it as well. And of course, how many students in terms of sample. So we have 10 students that we created in a pseudo way, 10 male, 14 female. Have I been able to give you a little information based on what we did on Monday?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, we want to put this work, which we have done in the Excel. We use the Excel as a tool to produce the table and produce the graph. That's what we did. So, but nobody knows the work unless we move it from there to a Word document and write what we have on the screen. Suggestions were made that the title could be table, but I would rather say the spread of junior athletes (100 meters) time by gender. Is it by gender alone? Yeah. So what do you think we could do for the figure? Do you want us to repeat or you want another title? You're free, you know. Remember I said there's no wrong answer, there's no right answer. It's just how do we want the readers to read this thing? Because the readers, we can imply that they understand how to read. We can imply that they don't. So we, the person who conduct the research, should be able to have some information which the reader can read. So please give me your idea about what you think the figure, the graph should be. Just make a suggestion. As I said, no right answer, no wrong answer.
So it should be speed and not spread, right, sir?
All right. I choose not to use the word speed.
Oh.
Remember, they are running 100 meters, right? And the understanding is that you the coach, you'll have clocked the time that they run. So the table and the figure could be the same in terms of title, you know. So so figure one, it could be an illustration of what? Of the time, of the time, okay, of the time.
Yes. Run.
Clock. Okay,
Right.
is a clock or run?
Can be
run.
clock.
Can use clock.
Okay, because we want to know the kind of language that the people are familiar with clock by junior athletes. Mhm. In 100 meter race. Okay, that is it. So the one who does not understand statistics will run into problem with this information because he doesn't know what the 15 means. He doesn't know what the 13 means. So it will be your job to break it down, because ideally we could have add the 15 and the 13 into this table by saying, let me have it here. Let me have maximum time. Let me also have minimum time. So for the male, is the maximum time is 15, and the minimum time is 13. For the female is same 15 and 13 as well. And these are seconds, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So maybe we need to indicate for our reader to say seconds so that they don't get it wrong. So to explain this, ideally for research, you start your story first. Then the story is complemented by the table and the chart. But some persons might think that the table first, the sharpness, then the story below. Well, that's not the way it's been presented in many journal articles. Are you familiar with articles and journal and so on? Tell me what you know, what you observe, what you have observed. Is it the table first or the story first and the table complement the table or complement the story? Which one are you familiar with? Let's start with what you know versus what you don't know. The floor is open, the floor is open, the floor is open.
So I think it would be the table first, then you describe what is on the table. You describe the statistics.
That is what you see in the newspaper most of the time.
Yes, sir.
You sure?
Yes, sir.
Which of the newspaper is that? Gleaner Observer.
Repeat, sir.
I said, which of the newspaper is that?
No, sir, it's not really like either of those media outlets. It's like normal journal articles that would have research. You understand?
You sure that? I could
Yes,
pull
sir.
up some article now, you know. Could pull up some article just for you to see.
Okay, sir.
The reason why I ask is because I know that that is what you are going to say, but that's not so. And I've seen the problem. Yes, go ahead.
In the newspaper articles, you see more words than numbers.
Thank you.
So you'll have a description. You'll have a description of the statistic instead of showing the table.
The table might be there, you know.
Yeah, but description
but the paragraph come first, and then it is complementary by the figures, because the feeling is that a lot of people love to read. They don't like figures. They're going to leave it alone.
So sir, is the description first,
right?
And then it illustrate the statistic afterwards. So people will be okay with what is being said first, then they look at statistics.
Thank you. That's why I was wondering who's journalists that came to my reading, because not everybody like mathematics.
Yes, sir. We get the essence. Yes.
I couldn't know, you know, when what you're saying is logical or when you just are trying to get along. Really? It doesn't want that way. So because a lot of society, just anywhere in the world, not necessarily Jamaica alone, all around the world, they don't like numbers, But people love to be poetic, emotion. If you ask somebody to talk to you now, it will take the entire day to talk. If you start to put the contest in numbers now and keep silence or don't pay you any mind.
Everybody.
Huh? Have you ever come across it that way in your discussion with people? That's my observation. And I used to crack a joke that if we can encourage our younger ones to embrace numbers, mathematics in particular, let's say we can get 80% of our young men and women to have 1 or 2 in CX maths, I can bet you the crime rate in the country will go down. Because when you are dealing with maths, you have no time to go cause trouble with nobody. You are busy. You're busy, your brain is busy at work like a CPU, like a computer. You don't have no time. You ever observe it that way? You ever see it that way? Hello?
Go
Are
again.
you still?
Yes, man, we are
I'm
here.
saying,
We are here. What you say?
yeah.
Yeah, repeat.
All right. Tell him what I said. The one who understand what I said now.
Yeah,
Just say
we
it
said
again.
if based on statistics regarding like if 80% of the population is successful at maths, then the crime rate would be down because people would be busy doing whatever. Something of that sort, sir.
Yeah. Because person who are engrossed in mathematics, they're like CPU. They have something to compute every minute. They have no time to argue with someone. You ever see somebody who know the math so much and busy, taking up a gun to go fight somebody? I have no time for that. So the subject can actually help to
Good
get
evening,
people
sir.
out.
Good evening,
Yeah?
colleague. Sir, good evening.
Yeah. Good evening.
Yeah, you just made Winston here. You just made mention of something. But it is not only the mind that will be busy, trying to figure out mathematics, but persons who are good in mathematics would normally be more rational and more logical. So they would be able to reason about some of these stupid things that they're fighting for.
Correct.
So
Correct.
so much with them even with things like that.
You're right, you're right. So I used to say that to me. Are you hearing me? Are you still there?
Yes, sir. We're in loud and clear, man.
Yeah, that if I'm government, I've been saying it in many circles where I attend that some teachers may not like the math teachers to get more than them, but I will put a premium price for the math teachers, pay them more. Work on Saturday and Sunday, work with the high schoolers, work with them, let them know it. And police will not have to do so much work. I mean, people going on their own, you just realize that this youth is busy, just busy. He has no time to trouble nobody. So let us craft a paragraph for what we have now. The paragraph could be, so let me give each person an opportunity to craft a paragraph out of what we have here. As I said, no correct answer, no wrong answer, just a paragraph. A paragraph can be 3 sentences, 4, 2, but not 1. 2, 3, or 4 sentences. All right. Who's going first? Dania, you are the first person in the class. You want to go first?
No, sir, I'm not ready yet.
Oh, Miss Dania is not ready yet. Who is ready? There's no wrong answer, There's no correct answer, Whatever comes to your mind is fine. Just 2 sentences or 3 sentences. This is it. That's the information.
Sir, can I
Alright.
see the other part? Can I see the other part of
No problem.
diagram?
See, yeah, man.
Okay.
You can write your sentences in the chat, CHAT. If you don't want people to hear your voice, that's okay. You can open your mic and say something.
Sir,
I'm hearing, we're all hearing you.
yeah, could
Yeah,
we
yeah.
start to say, for example, the above diagram showing 24 students, 10 males and 14 boys who participated in a 100-meter race, and 13, the minimum time for male is 13 seconds with a max, and the maximum time is 15 seconds.
You did very well, you know. You did very well, but you said above diagram. But the diagram is going to be below.
All right, so if it's below, then we'll say below, the diagram below.
So why don't you write your story
All right,
and
sir.
then refer to the diagram to say, see table 1 and
Oh.
figure 2, that kind of.
Sir,
Okay.
Go
can
ahead,
I
go
try
ahead.
again?
Yeah,
So
go
the
ahead.
All right, so the table below present the 100-meter sprint time for the junior athletes by gender. For male, the average time is 13.75 seconds with a median of 13.88 seconds, a standard deviation of 0.69, and a range between 13 and 15 seconds.
What is your name?
Sir?
Yes, the person who just spoke now.
Dania.
Wow, you did very well, you know. You did far well, extremely well. So, gentlemen, challenge to you now. Come now. Because,
Sir.
Go ahead.
All right. So since it's gonna come before, can we say the table below represents a comparative analysis of the 100-meter sprint times recorded by junior athletes categorized by gender?
Wonderful.
And then we can even go further to say the first table provides key statistical measures including mean, median, standard deviation,
wow,
maximum and minimum recorded times.
Wonderful.
All right, me burn out. Somebody else take over.
Hold on. You are the one who work with the television station?
Sir, but I should.
He's the one who works with the television station.
Oh, but I should.
Sir, that's Giovanni.
Oh,
Daniel is
that's
not.
Okay. Well, I think TVJ should hire you. Okay. Another person? Another person?
So continue, sir.
Yeah.
There's a continue from Giovanni.
Well, no problem. You cool.
Oh.
Why not? Yeah.
Sorry. So in relation to the times for the descriptive statistics, the mean for the males is 13.75 seconds, with the females being 13.88 seconds. in relation to the median, for males is 13.7 seconds and females 14.1. The standard deviation ranging from 0.69 seconds for males and 0.61 for females. The maximum time for males is 15 seconds and a minimum 13 seconds. And the maximum time for females is the same. The sample, the amount of males in the sample would be that of 10, and for females 14.
Any other person before I make my comments? Okay. As a graduate student, people will expect you to write in an elegant way. Just as the last speaker used the word amount, they wouldn't expect graduate students to use amount, but you could use what that suggests a sample of 10 a sample of 10 male students in comparison to a sample of 14 female students, where in the study, this is like a study, you know, like a mini research. So if I were to summarize some of the storyline without trying to add up what everybody have said, I would say, okay, a sample of 24 students consisting of 10 males, 14 females were recorded for an 100-meter race. The descriptive statistics with regards to the times clock were illustrated in table 1 and in figure 2. So you make reference to them, then one will pause and say the male students' average time for the 100-meter race is 13.75, which is marginally a faster time compared to their female counterpart, 13.88 seconds. However, the median times differs in regards to the male. It was 13.7 seconds in comparison to the female, 14.1 seconds. The standard deviation shows that both male and female were close in terms of the times that they were running, in terms of individual boys and individual girls, because the figures 0.61 and 0.69 suggest similar deviations in terms of the times they were running. And both male and female maximum time is 15, while the minimum time the both gender can, which both gender run, is 13 seconds. That's all. So you have make reference to the figure and the table, but you didn't say the table below. You want to talk, but you also want your reader to know that there's a complementary something there for illustration, which you have put below, but you want the paragraph to stand alone, and the table and the figure you have to be complementary of what you have said. So if you learn how to do this properly, then you can be a good researcher. A good researcher is somebody who can conceive a study, who can collect data, who can analyze the data, who can present it, who can write properly what they are found, the findings. Everything we explain now and write is our findings. The findings suggest that marginally the boys will run more than the girls, marginally. And it is expected that the boys should run more than the girls. Somehow, because of the hormone of the boys compared to the hormone of the girls. But if you can produce a good statistic and you are not able to produce a good paragraph, it's like somebody who is trying to eat buns without cheese. So you have the bun in your hand, but you don't have a cheese to complete it. So people will not value your work because your work you didn't write it properly. Go ahead.
I think in terms of comparing and contrast the gender difference, I think you said, I'm trying to remember quite vividly what you said. You said the boys run faster because of what, hormones? That's what you said?
That's what I said. Maybe I'm wrong, you know. Is it not true? If I'm wrong, you know, you can correct me.
You could say physiological factors / features.
Okay, all right. I agree with you. Physiological factors.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm not an expert when it comes to sports, so you are better than me. So you are correct. You are totally physiological factors will have made the boys to be having a marginal running times than the girls. Is that correct?
Good night, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good night. Go ahead. So you say something? You say good night? Or you just
Yes,
greeting
sir.
all of us?
No, sir. 2 hours late, I just ensured that I show respect. Good night. I just joined, sir. I just joined a while ago.
Okay, enough respect
So-
to you too.
So just for a minute, sir, just to try to catch up in my own little way. So we are basically continuing from what we did last week. So we did the basic, no, not last week, Monday. Yeah. Monday we continue. So we're doing a more definitive type of, work or example we're doing right now, right?
I will allow Dania to summarize where we are now. And I will allow Gardner to also summarize.
Okay.
Come. Let's give this gentleman a little summary of what we have been doing. Dania, over to you. Then Gardner too.
All right, let me try. So, Daniel, so what Sir did is to actually put the table on a Word document and then summarize it by putting it into a paragraph. Is that it, sir?
You did well. You did.
So
let's hear from Gardner.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So basically, what I'm seeing right now on my screen, you basically did it and put it in a worded format which is readable and understandable for the readers, basically. So you put the numbers you're seeing in probably what? In worded form, so it can be easily understood.
Say it again.
No, I'm asking that the table that I see in front of me, I'm saying that you put based on what I'm seeing is if you put the words, the table itself into a worded format so that can be easily understood by readers. That's what I'm asking.
Can you put it in a question format rather than a statement?
What I'm seeing as related to the table is the case that I'm asking you to summarize the table. I'll put it that way there.
So, sir, I would basically say based on the raw data that was created from a spreadsheet, we now bring it forward in a Word document so we can create findings of what was done in the spreadsheet.
Is that the case?
Basically, yes, because we create the times from remember what we started on Monday with the gender and the female. So this is the actual time that the junior athletes run by gender. So we move it over to the Word document where it is readable to the readers. And then we are trying to put what we have here in the Word document into a paragraph so that when the readers see it, they can see what is actually explained in the table.
Yeah. Okay, okay.
Yeah, Ben.
So
So basically the analysis of the raw data.
okay.
Right. And then we are use both numbers and words to appeal to the preference of the reader. So whole of number to the chart, whole of the word, you have the paragraph to explain.
So you get the best of both words. All right, then not a problem. It's a very simple thing.
Okay. Remember, can I assume that everyone online is a teacher?
No, sir. Not everybody.
Okay. All right. The teachers among us should be able to explain what we are doing so far, because I expect teachers to put in their teaching art and explain to the other ones. So this is the scenario that we're trying to do from Monday. We create pseudo records. That means we collect data. Now, I think someone that asked me, what is statistics? And I was trying to say that statistics is actually a science that involve descriptive aspect and inferential aspect. So when you get that data, you want to describe it first. In order to describe it, you have to have a graphical creation skills. Either to create a bar, a pie, a box plot, all type of graphs. Secondly, there are some measures, some simple calculations in terms of averages, which we call descriptive statistics, like the mean, the median, the mode, standard deviation, the minimum, the maximum, to create a table. So when I say, okay, since we know statistics in that way, how do we develop the skills with those records that we created? We look at all of them. We say, okay, for tonight, let's look at the time that the students are running. Let's use Excel to illustrate the time using whisker and box plots. Which is this? The whisker is based on the stem. That is the whisker, the box. This is the box. That box contains the following. It contains the minimum value, the maximum value, the lower quartile, or what we call 25 percentile, the median, which is the 50 percentile, and of course, the 75 percentile. So we use the Excel to produce this figure, or what you call graph. It compares the male and also provide the female information. We also have a table. So we say, okay, how do we proceed? After producing your table and the figures, right? What you have completed now, you have now generate a table and figure. But the process of doing it is called data analysis. Like you analyze something and you want your readers now to get this output out of it. Now the question is, will you need a paragraph here a paragraph right away here? And that paragraph, will the paragraph be solely be talking about this table and the figure? That's where we are. And the suggestion that I was giving them is like the paragraph should be standalone, but in the paragraph, the table and the figure should be mentioned so that when somebody finish reading it, if they don't understand what you have written, they should be able to see table one and see figure one in order to complement what you, the researcher, is trying to provide for them in the introductory section. So we ask each person to provide some introduction that we can write about 4 sentences, at least 2 or 3, and we get several contributions. In fact, the best of them is one gentleman, I don't know his name, because each person did not mention their name, but we know the voice. Can you mention your name, please? I try to remember his name. I think he spoke after the two ladies. Dania went first. The second person, a female. The third
Sparkin.
person. Huh?
Parking.
So because the outcome of this class at the end of our 45 hours, you should be able to collect data, analyze this, produce tables like this, and write a standard information for people to submit for publication in an article. That is the final outcome of this work. Not necessarily to turn you to a mathematician, to start work out figures and work out numbers, but you will know how to do it. But you must be able to write properly, because if somebody make you a principal now or manager of a company, you're not going to be calculating figures, 3/4 of the time you're going to be writing a report. Am I right or wrong?
Correct, sir.
Yeah.
As in thing there, the calculating of the figures now, we have the Excel to do that.
God bless you. You are now talking. You are now talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the brain work is going to be to explain the figure after it has been calculated.
You are now talking. So if anybody is drilling you of mathematics at your age now, you maybe get turned off to say, you're wasting my time. The calculator can't do this, a software can't do it. I'm also cracking a joke. If you take the mathematics you have calculated to the bank, I don't think they'll give you a loan. But if you have to get a loan, you have to write a proposal. Is that correct? So these are the reality of life. So I want this class to be more practical so that you can get the best out of it. So everybody was supposed to put in a paragraph. So I'm going to post this in the WhatsApp, pending the time that I can give it to Mr. Smith to put it online so that students who did not join the class tonight, they can write something in. So students, please write a paragraph. Here to complement the table and figure. So I'm going to post this as a Word document. So today now, what is today? March 6th, 2025. GC Foster. Let me just put that date. That's the date. It's not an assignment, It's just like a homework, something to keep you going. You will get the Excel sheet as well, because if you are not challenged to contribute in your development as we interface with the resources in the class, you wait too long to participate. By the time you get the assignment, you won't know what to do. But as you try to challenge yourself now, you'll be building your own skill gradually. What do you think? That makes sense?
Yeah. Yes, sir, it makes sense. Because by practicing, because we statistics, just like mathematics, is practice. The more you practice, the better you get.
You're totally right. And if I claim to be a dentist and you ask me how many persons you have extracted their tooth, and I say no, I have not done one, and I've been practicing for 10 years. Will you allow me to remove your tooth?
Not at all. We move more than the tooth. Remove the gum.
Okay, it's a real life example to sir.
Couldn't take it serious at
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but
Again, it's a real life example in just the other day.
go
this
ahead.
this doctor was charged for killing a patient
Where that happened?
when he had the patient in surgery and was
Where
using YouTube to perform the surgery on the patient.
where that
The
happened?
patient died.
Where it happened?
I don't remember the country exactly.
Okay.
It was recently though.
Okay. All right. At least you have some of you know the truth as well. You know. If somebody say they will produce an athlete who can run X times, you'll be wondering, is he a magician or he's not? Because majority of our athletes who were being coached by persons who have been doing the work for years, we see what the output is. You could say that there's a relationship between the years of experience of the coach and the performance of the athlete. Because I haven't seen one coach who just started to coach 2 days ago who produced somebody who can run 100 meters and win. Have you seen one? In Jamaica here, I don't want to speak about elsewhere. Have you seen one? It appears nobody can tell me no. It's the same thing. So ideally, if we continue to build our skills, both the Excel part, the word, the explanation as we go along before we go to another software, which is the SPSS, which you have to buy. By the time you finish, you will be a very good person in terms of quantitative data analysis. So tonight, this is what I plan to share with you. Hopefully come Monday again, we will continue. I will give you a PowerPoint, but my strategy is to go in a conversation.
Practical.
Yes, because I know if I
Practical.
give a PowerPoint now, you're just going fall
We'll be
asleep.
lost.
You'll
Yeah.
be lost. You're just going to be memorizing facts, which is not good for adults.
Okay.
So we're going to stop here. I know you have work tomorrow.
Before you wrap up, sir,
No
can you
problem,
just
bye.
can you do me a quick favor? And I don't know if you had said it before, but just quickly explain to me what is standard deviation, please.
Sorry. Let me explain. I didn't explain it. I go in an assumption mode. The standard deviation is a term that is derived from the word deviation. Deviation.
Set apart.
Right. What happened is this. In a practical way, let us say all of us are the same age. Deviation will be 0. Because the average will be the same.
Yeah.
All right. Because we're not the same age. Some age up, some age down. So the average now will be, if we subtract it from some people's age, you get positive numbers. If you subtract it from other one, you get negative numbers. So if the numbers are close in terms of the terms, the deviation will be small. If the numbers are too varied, then the deviation will be wide. So if you notice now, it is 0.69 and 0.61. So which means they're a little bit away from 0. So the male students, all of them are running closer times. The female students, they are also running closer times. There's no
there's no gap.
There's no gap. There's no too much wide gap.
Yeah. Less than a second.
Right. That's exactly what the standard deviation is saying in this. Have I break it down?
So basically then, it's basically the difference within the times.
Correct. Yeah, you could say it that way.
Okay.
That's what the deviation means.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying it is the range?
No. Range actually means the difference between the highest and the smallest. In statistical terms, range means from one end to the other end. So no, That's not what the standard deviation is. The standard deviation is the amount of deviation away from the average. Closer to zero indicate that the record.
I get that part, sir, but maybe I don't want to throw the class in a tailspin, but you know, as a person, I hate to just see numbers appearing, and you know, I don't understand where they are coming from. You know, I am that curious. So my curiosity now is saying to me, you know, you have 10 boys, right? We're looking at the males now.
Let's go back to the data. Let's go back to it. I don't want to be going on an assumption. Sorry, here. This is the record. Look at it.
Yes.
These are the boys.
The gender and time.
Why you tapping eyes, man?
Don't trouble
I
it.
mean, we are say, so we don't read it something. We can't read it, you know. If you say yellow and can't read,
Remember, the class is being recorded, you know. People will hear your voice to say, who are those who are disruptive? So don't let them know your voice, because it's going to be on YouTube, you know. If you are on YouTube, how will you feel like? Okay. Yeah, we are now. Okay, go ahead now.
Yes, sir. So I am seeing the meal time now, right?
Yeah.
How is it now? I arrive at that 0.69. I'm seeing 13.2, then I'm seeing 14. How is it that we calculate it?
Thank you.
I mean, this is for my one purpose.
Yeah, man. I'm going to help you to break it down for you to understand it. Now, standard deviation in terms of calculation is a simple concept. To calculate standard deviation by formula is about 4 steps. Now, let us look at what the answer is for us to get the formula in now, because I am a number man. I like people to see it. Remember now, for the 1 second, let me come over here. All right, this is the mail. These are the information. This is what we really want to focus on. This 0.685, right?
Yeah, round it off to 9. Yeah.
Okay, don't worry. And the average is what? 13 point what?
Yeah.
7475. 13.75. Okay, all right, watch now. So this is the record. 1 second. Insert. Okay. First, you need to see the formula. 1 second. I'm going to bring an equation, math equation on the screen, and I'm going to write the formula. And then we're going to implement it in the column BT, column BJ, and column BV. It's going to come up. My computer kind of slow. 1 second. It's coming up. It's a little bit.
Buy some extra memory, sir.
You're correct. I need to upgrade to a new machine. And my intention is to find resources to buy a gaming machine, the fastest one.
Sir, buy the least memory, 16 gigabyte RAM. Least.
So
don't buy any 4 or 8.
Mentally sound like the insane though.
Man, mash up.
So are you seeing my screen? Are you seeing my screen now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. I think I'd open. Why is it making noise? Oh, my. Guess what happened? I need to pay for my this thing to use it. I didn't pay.
But sir,
so don't worry. No. We're still going to implement the work. Come, don't worry.
Oh, because I'm saying that there's supposed to be a standard formula in Excel, Steven, you know so?
Don't worry, we're going to do it. Don't worry. Come on.
Okay.
Watch. So the average value.
Right.
Yeah. the average is actually, let's put in that average there.
13.75.
All right, so we have that in. We are going to work it out together now. This is average, right? We have it fixed. Sorry. Oh, let me delete this. Copy. Paste. Undo. Paste special value. Okay, great. Now the deviation now. The difference between them, between the time and the average. Based on the formula, we have to square it. All right, last square, we need to total it. One second. Okay, all right, I know why. We're going to do it another way. All right.
I think I get it now, sir. I see the formula. I think I get it now.
Huh?
I think I get it now.
So when I finish this, I'm going to divide by the sample minus 1 and find square root, you know. And that's what Excel have. And that's what Excel did.
No,
This is it.
you need the program, sir.
Square root now. I'm going to say this raised to the power 0.5. Right. Raised to 0.5. Now, sorry, before I do the division, I need to divide by 9 because n minus 1. So you have this divided by 9. Then I'm going to find the square root. Look at it. You see it? You see? You see?
Yeah.
Now, if I just want Excel to calculate the standard deviation here for me, I could just say equal standard deviation. Look, I could say standard. Look at it. Standard DV, standard DV. Any of this function will work. All right, I'm going to take standard deviation, this one. Take all the numbers. You see it now? Do you see?
Yeah.
But the process is what I took you through.
Yes,
That
sir. I
process,
just,
go ahead.
yeah, man. Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
man. So
I
the
have a
formula,
better idea.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Good.
that
Wonderful.
formula should have been given in high school, as well as first class in undergraduate class. So I will put it in a PowerPoint. Those formula, I'll type it in a PowerPoint and let you have it. But this is how it works. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to call this now March 6. You know, I keep using the same Excel sheet, but the date will differentiate what I did last week and what I did the next week. So this is Thursday. So, any more questions before we call it a night?
Okay, sir.
No, sir.
No.
All I was thinking, sir, when I was going through everything, to understand up to a point where you have the last option to show us.
Mhm.
So I have an idea that you could have done that.
Right. Yeah. You're correct. You're correct.
Getting confused and I said, boy, it's really smart work. But I understand how you carry us through it
Yeah.
and so forth before you bring us to the easier part for us to get a better understanding.
Okay, no problem. All right. By the grace of God, we see one another on Monday. I'm supposed to give Mr. Okusoya, Mr. Smith, to help us put this on model, but
That's messy.
I need to link up with him. So bye-bye for tonight. See you all come Monday.
All right, sir. Thanks much.
You're welcome.
Okay, sir. Bye.
Bye.